Right guys, Mark Crossfield here, and today I'm going to go my Srixon ZX5 driver, so my current driver, up against the new Titleist TSi3. So in effect my old sponsor against my new sponsor. Should be a fun test. Obviously it will be horrendously biased towards Srixon, and if you're not all bought Srixon clubs already, I'm outraged at you all, and what are you doing? What are you doing? This should be a fun test. Which one's going to come out on tops? So we looks and feel it to begin. Down by the ball you got more carbon on ZX5, so you see the carbon top, little red spray around the outside, and the quirky looking line-up line. TSi has the TSi line-up line on top, which looks nice, and it's a clean look. Titleist have always liked a nice clean, no fuss look on top. You've obviously got the ZX7, which would probably be more in comparison for looks to the TSi3, but these are just the two drivers. I would be choosing TSi3 if I was still with Titleist, but now I'm just comparing two clubs that in fact I could kind of game. Like when it comes to the looks, there's really not much in it. They're very, very good looking and similar. TSi3 definitely has that classic Titleist pear shape that so many people do like, and I do as well. ZX5, again, it's not quite as pairy, but the other one is. They sit square. There's like not much in it in the looks. I've moved the green to 300 yards, so we see which one can get it there. So let's see if we see anything coming out in the numbers that makes these stand out as different performers. Nice hit. I would say TSi, and again, I'm going to flip between the two clubs a little bit. Go on, get up. That's a dead straight ball, just slightly short. TSi sounds great. It's not too loud. It's got kind of a slightly duller thud to it, which I think lots of people like, and it sounds uber solid. Another straight one. And it does, that's carried further. It was a bit more speed, I think. That's getting there. A little right, but that is just gone past pin eye. Lovely. The way it sits on the floor, the way it sounds, just its whole appearance definitely makes me feel I can visualize straight, nice drives. I'm sure I'm going to hit plenty offline, but you know, it's ticking all the boxes. And the sound is great. Like, it does just feel, I don't think Titleist have ever really made a bad sounding, feeling driver, have they? It's like what you expect. Obviously we've got the ATI face in TSi3. We're going to come to the tech of both shortly. I'm going to do 3 with ZX5 now, just to try and keep the speeds and try and keep some comparison with this. I'm going to flip between both clubs, 3 with one, 3 with the other, 3 with one, 3 with the other, so we don't get like a warming up, excited crescendo at the end, which happens to be like my driver or something. So again, looks definitely down by the ball. Everything is in place for where I want it to be. Feeling like I can hit target. I would say ZX5 has a fraction louder impact sound. That's getting close into the pack. So out of the two, it's got a fraction higher pitch sound possibly, which again, I wouldn't say is a good or a bad. It's just you get used to what your driver, within reason, is going to sound like. Yeah, that's a nice turn on that one. That might go a little longer. That one's going to get green high though. It's definitely a slightly louder sound on the ZX5. Right, before I hit one more and switch back to TSi3, why don't we go and look at the tech of the two clubs, see what the big difference is. So let's start with the ZX5. It's got the rebound face, focusing more energy onto the golf ball. Rebound frame's unique structure increases ball speed and distance on every shot, is what Srixon are saying. We get a carbon crown on the ZX5, which is one of the standout differences in its appearance. You can see the carbon on the top. So using this carbon lighter crown, they can reposition the mass of the club to try and increase MOI, so keeping stability of that ball speed across different strikes. You get tall shaping. So it's a classic look. It's slightly shallower than the other model. You got the ZX7 as well, which is slightly deeper. This is slightly shallower looking, but it is still a classic driver, good looking shape. And you get the adjustability in the neck. So the tech in ZX5 is kind of concise and clear and not too much shouting. Now, where the Titleist, they are starting to shout more than they've ever shouted. So we've got the ATI face in TSi3. This is aerospace grade material, Titleist are saying. Reboundy, it's firm, it's going to maintain tolerances, allows them to build the tolerances again to try and squeeze every ounce of ball speed out of that face and over time. It's also got improved aerodynamics from the last TS, is what they're saying. So you might be able to increase a little bit of club head speed if those aerodynamics are shown. Improved MOI on previous models as well in TSi3. We get performance-tuned adjustability. So we get the Sure Fit CG track on the back of this club, allowing you not so much for shot shaping, it's allowing you to dial in your sweet spot hitting zone with center of gravities to try and kind of pair them up again, trying to squeeze every ounce of ball speed out of this club. And then again with both clubs, you've got premium shafts as standard options with all your custom options as well. If you're getting custom fit, obviously it's whatever shaft suits your feels to your swings and ideas the best. What's interesting with both clubs is definitely the Titleist TSi is shouting a lot louder and he's really trying to push boundaries, if you like, in design. If that comes out in the numbers, well, we'll see. So you join me back on the TSi. You can see there's a lot going on with this club. Like, it is clever with innovations. So in theory, with all that tech and bigger words, maybe we should be expecting more out of TSi. Or do we all just fall into the marketing machine that is definitely, you know, a big part of golf? The thing that I like about Titleist and admire, to be fair, is even with all the big words and the aerospace, they're still very true to what we expect from Titleist, which is good looking, solid performing drivers. Like that narrative just never changes. Maybe just the narrative around the sign of the times has to change to make sure you're still in the, you know, you're still in the game. Oh, off the top of the club a little. Might be a low spinny dipper. That's my wildest, but that was me. Oh, nice. That's an absolute button. Not the longest, but that's got to get there. Go on. Oh, nearly. Right, back to ZX5. Again, that's pretty nice. That's the straightest so far. Just not the longest. It was slightly off the top of the club, so ball speed is low. Definitely having a bit of a slower day today. Okay, again, not a bad shot. Right, we're going to do 3 with each to finish, and I'm going to go at full pelt. It's getting close to lunchtime and I'm losing a little bit of my not enough speed. Full pelt with both. Post in the comments down below. Do you reckon there's going to be a difference from what you're seeing at the minute? Obviously, used to game these, was sponsored by these, now game these, am sponsored by these. So obviously, you know, this data should be doctored and you should all be buying this one. You should never ever buy this. This is what you buy. You know, like, I don't mind what you buy. What I do mind is that you buy something that's right for you. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not. Right, it's nearly lunchtime, fast as I can go. Both clubs, 3 more, and then we'll look at these 9-ish shots each. That is quicker, but the delay, that's 111, but the face was wrong. Very wrong. Oh. That one isn't fair in the mix. We might be disabling that one for the numbers. Don't think we can blame Titleist for that shot. There you go, a little bit more coordination on that one. Oh, it's still drifting actually. I thought that was better than that. 111. Let's definitely get my speeds up. I think something to bear in mind as well, definitely if you look top right there, the TSi3, which I always remembered with the TS3, definitely feels more fadey. You can see the pattern where my ZX5, which is in theory the friendlier out of the two, feels like I can turn it. Obviously, you could set the club up with the movable weights and the neck, you could dial that in for you. But I think as how I like it set up for looks and in terms of mental feel, because I don't like playing with the numbers too much because it makes me second guess. This one I would be playing more of an active fade or working on a harder draw. Isn't a good or bad point, it just is a point to bear in mind. Right, I'm going to hit one more with Titleist because there was definitely, look at that one out to the right. That's not anything, is it? There you go, that's a good one, surely. You can see it's still fading, and that doesn't feel that fadey to me. But that's good, no, that's good carry. That's a 111 club again, which for me is good. Right, hard as I can with the ZX5. Oh, I can go faster than that. Come on, yeah, it's 110, just push that up. Oh, it's the furthest. There we go, that's felt faster. Cool, no, 109. But a decent shot, and again, I just feel this one I can hang on to it more. I really do. Right, last one. Because that's 20 drives, this is my 20, this will be my 20th shot. You know, at some point I am going to have to eat some food. It's a 111, good. And I've just turned it again a bit more. This one I feel I can aim up the right and turn it. TSi3, I reckon I could, I just think I'd need more time to really work it out. We are going to strokes gain these numbers as well right at the end of the video, so stay around for that. Post in the comments down below which one is going to win. Is there a winner? Can there ever be a winner when one person is testing? Possibly not. So let's look how close these are getting. Ball speeds literally less than a mile an hour of each other. Launch angle exactly the same. Spin 100 revs difference. Side degree angle start, nothing. Carry 270, 267. I would not say 3 yards is longer. If anyone's rejoicing 3 yards, try repeating that in a test. Then resulting carry, not much in it again. Strike pattern slightly more high toe, which gives me the low spin, drawy shots, which where the TSi3 a little bit more centered, which can help, but not if I get at least the average dynamic loft is slightly different as well. Club head speed on both of those, trying to keep this exactly the same. Efficiency exactly the same as well. This higher dynamic loft is because I had those flails off to the right. I just didn't produce the right loft. That's me. You know, these clubs are literally as tight as you can get them. Dispersion, you can see it's slightly better with the red, which is my one. Again, that's because I feel like I can draw it, which is where I want to be at the moment, where you've got the couple of leaky ones with the Titleist, which makes it wider. But again, that's me, that's not the club. I would say that's very, very close. Let's look at the all-important strokes gained on this test then. Very interesting numbers we've got with recovery shots and without, which we'll talk about. So if you take recovery shots, so all shots hit, the Srixon ZX5, a driver I've gamed, is smashing TSi3 a mile. Losing nearly 2 shots TSi3, and where the Srixon ZX5 is gaining 1.7 total on all the shots, gaining 0.12 per shot. It's a no-brainer on all the shots. For me, obviously I've gamed the ZX5, so you could argue not a fair comparison because I have not bedded in as much the TSi3 if you wanted to go devil's advocate that way. But now if you remove the recovery shots, so if you remove the ones where my bedding in or feels for different shapes, changing my aims because TSi3 might fade a bit more where I can draw my ZX5 easier, so working in the patterns of the club to me, which I've done and will do with every club I buy. I'll fight it as well as play it. Look how close they are. If you remove the recoveries, if you take my lack of performance out with an individual club and just go with my better hits that are in play, they're exactly the same. If anything, the TSi3 is just pipping it a fraction, but like that is a total fraction. So for me, I wouldn't say ZX5 is beating TSi3. I would say it's beating it because I know how I'm playing my driver because I've been gaming it more than the TSi3. If you take the recoveries out, it's blatantly, see again, I wouldn't say TSi3 is winning that. It's so close. For me, those two drivers are performing as good as anything, subject to me understanding how I need to play each one of them, and performing very well. For me to be able to gain without recovery shots taken away nearly a shot on a Tour Pro is massively exciting for me because that's showing that I'm getting the distance that I'm trying to work towards, and the club's helping me get the distance, and both of those clubs are helping me get the distance. Obviously I have a Srixon hat on, so just to play devil's advocate here, and maybe you can hit the comments up and let me know down below what's most important to you. Like, and with the strokes gained, would you look with recovery shots or without? Because for me, I just think recovery shots, within reason, I can get round, and that's my skill set, stroke not. Where if you want a driver that doesn't make you hit the recovery shot, so you are working more on accuracy just rather than distance, where really should be working on both, but let's say you are targeting more the accuracy, you might work those recovery shots in. So which set of data would you choose? Let me know down below. But with my Srixon hat on, so this is a little bit biased, a little bit kind of unfair possibly, but one of these drivers is a very different price to the other, yet they're performing what I would say as both very well and both exactly the same. Again, in the comment section down below, am I allowed to say that with this hat on? It's an interesting one, isn't it? I would say two very, very good drivers there.